D'Angelo passed away today. Iconic soul singer, songwriter, multi instrumentalist, legendary musician, a hero to so many, a hero to me. Just wanted to kind of share some thoughts about him. It's a sad day. It was very unexpected news, and yeah, just wanted to talk about him and what his music's meant to me over the years. I think I first heard D'Angelo somewhere towards the end of high school or the beginning of college, so I was probably 18 or 19 years old. And I heard Voodoo for the first time, and that record just, at this point, it's a cliche story to say that album, you know, opened my mind to all these new sounds and new rhythms and new ideas. And so many people had that same experience. And there is a pre and a post Voodoo in terms of groove music. And I think everything that's come out after Voodoo, if it's groove based, if it's, funk based, it's been influenced by D'Angelo. There it was, a monumental album that just changed music. And we are still feeling the effects of it today. And there's not that much music that you can point to that's had that kind of effect on music and culture. And, I've been pouring through, all the tributes today and talking to other musicians about him. And, every time you think that you've talked about all the great things about him, you realize, like, oh shoot, like we just talked about his piano playing for 10 minutes. And then we talked about, like, how he taught himself to play guitar and he sounds better than people who spend their whole lives playing guitar. And then it's like, oh yeah, and also he wrote all these songs, and he, it wasn't just about grooves and jams and rhythms. There's like, it's about telling a story through music. It's about melodies, it's about lyrics, and he was great at that. And then it's like, the perfect discography of, like, him having the courage to take the time to make these albums. 1995 to 2025, a 30-year career, he has 3 albums. I mean, the patience for that. So, there's that aspect of it. And then it's like, oh, and then there's the singing, like he's this iconic singer with this beautiful voice, and the signature vocal layering, and the way he stacked his vocals on his albums, and the falsetto and the low voice, and the way he blended singing with, like, kind of rapping but kind of not rapping. There's all these elements where it's so easy to neglect one of his superpowers. there's also, you know, his dedication to the history of music. He was a music historian. Uh, you watch interviews of him, and he had this like working encyclopedia of soul music, of funk music, of 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 blues and R and B and rock and roll, and he's aware. I mean, not just aware. He studied, you know, all these different periods of this music, and you know, has learned from the masters of soul music, and then, you know, taken their thing and added something new to it. So it's like, you know, he's a historian and a student and an innovator. And it's like, you know, it's so rare. It's so rare for one person to embody all of these things. It's like if you're lucky as a musician, maybe you'll get one or two of these things. And for one dude to have all of these things, I mean, he was a genius. He was a genius. And we are so lucky to have witnessed him. Even if I never got to, see him live, but he was alive when I was alive, and you know, it's amazing. And yeah, his music meant a lot to me. Voodoo and Brown Sugar and Black Messiah all meant a lot to me. When Black Messiah came out in 2014, again, I was in college, and it was a massive event when that record came out. It was like D'Angelo comes out of, whatever hole he'd been in for 14 years, and I remember when that record came out, people liked it. People were like, "Oh, it's good." And I feel like it's only gotten better with age. I feel like more and more people are, even before D'Angelo's death, I feel like with every year people were like, they had to get hip to that record, because it was different than Voodoo. It was different than Brown Sugar. It was, again, he's doing something new, and it kind of took people a few years to like catch up to that record and realize like, wow, this is great music. It's more than great music, and yeah, he was larger than life to me. And I think my favorite tribute that I saw today was from singer and guitar player David Ryan Harris, um, who wrote that D'Angelo sounded like all the records my parents wanted me to hear mixed with all the records they didn't want me to hear. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. It's like, imagine you're a kid growing up in the 90s, and your parents want you to listen to Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye and Curtis Mayfield and Sam Cooke, and then they don't want you to listen to hip hop, and they don't want you to listen to Wu-Tang and Biggie and Nas and Public Enemy, and all these like hip hop groups that are coming out in the late 80s and the early 90s. And then you have D'Angelo, who comes out, and on the same, he can go from singing Smokey Robinson and Roberta Flack to a song with DJ Premier, and then, having Method Man and Redman on a track, and and then he's, doing stuff with Common and Slum Village and Lauryn Hill, but you can hear all the people that came before him. You can hear Prince, you can hear Marvin Gaye, you can hear Sly Stone, you can hear James Brown. I mean, so it's like, it's so amazing that he was able to do that, and he was the guy after all those people. Like, he is now a part of the lineage, but he was a part of the lineage when he was alive. He was the guy. He was the next guy. He was our Sly Stone. He was our James Brown. He was our Marvin Gaye. And I think his name and his music will be mentioned with all of his heroes. And yeah, it's a terrible loss. And yeah, I feel very sad for his family and the people that really know him, and I'm sad that he's not here with us anymore. But I'm so glad that we have his work and his art that's going to live on forever. And yeah, I just wanted to share some stuff, some thoughts. Go listen to some D'Angelo.